Here's one of the other things I wanted to talk about. The latest polls. Everybody loves a good poll. So this report came out. Black voters in Milwaukee having, quote, serious and lingering doubts about Biden. Well, here's the thing. I live here. I go to Milwaukee all the time. I was in Milwaukee this weekend. I've never seen fewer signs in the yard. I did see Biden signs. I absolutely did, but it was extremely sparse. And I think that
like a couple.
Yeah. Like I was in downtown Milwaukee and I saw 2. And I was in the district that there was 2 Biden signs on a road that had 11 pride flags. So, I mean, one of the, again, we've talked about this. There is a very real number of progressives that are not voting for Joe Biden over Israel-Palestine. That is not a small percentage of people. Now, maybe they'll still show up to stop Orange Man. Maybe.
I know at least one person in my own personal life who's very concerned over that and not voting for Joe Biden as a result.
Yeah, they exist. I mean,
there's plenty of them.
And you have,
I can only imagine in Dearborn. Jesus Christ, it must be hundreds of thousands of people.
And if let's say there's an escalation, I can tell they're trying to calm it down. But like, if there's an escalation, Biden puts this out. I'm appalled by the scenes outside the Torah synagogue in LA. Intimidating Jewish congregants is a dangerous, unconscionable, anti-Semitic, and un-American. He's like, who do I pick what you got to do is not pick a side. You just got to say,
Americans have a right to peaceful protest, but blocking access to a house of worship and engaging in violence is never acceptable.
That part would have been fine. But of course, you see all these people. You're appalled. It's because of your stupidity. Why won't your administration discuss the far left and pro-Palestine militants?
He's getting ground pounded.
He's getting crushed. Yeah, the conservatives are in there. It's like conservatives, far leftists hating Joe Biden. Like I
love the fact that people on the right and people on the far left can finally come together.
There's a lot of people with Palestinian flags in the bio. They should stop selling stolen land. all this stuff. You see, we talked about polls, and I saw somebody earlier in chat mention this, and I think they're correct. Polls this far out from the election, and it's 5 months out, are basically just so that 24-hour news cycle people can talk about.
And they're always terrible for Biden. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't like. I will. Well, I continue to use my platform to say, the polls don't matter. Hashtag remember 2016. Show up and vote. Don't worry. Don't be sitting back in any poll and be like, Trump's winning. No. Remember, there is a burr sound that can happen. And you see this one, a recent Fox News poll, which if you know anything about Fox News, isn't that surprising. There's a lot of never Trumpers that still watch Fox News. And the survey found that
a lot of neocons.
Yes, right. A lot of rhinos too. There's a new poll that said, Joe Biden is supposed to be getting excited. So MSNBC comes out. A new Fox poll gives false hope about the future of democracy. A majority of Americans agree that democracy is under threat, but Trump and Biden voters have very different idea of what that means. If we look at...
So in other words, it means literally nothing.
It means nothing. Yeah, it means nothing. And we always look at I don't know if there's been any new polls.
Not much.
Not much. Every single...
We had an outlier from Rasmussen +9 for Trump, but that was basically nonsensical.
Everything's based, like the RCP average is Trump 0.9, which, as Styx always says, is within the margin of error, it doesn't really mean anything. I don't want people to get excited about it. If we look at Arizona, there was a poll that ended 620, Trump up 4.8, which is down.
With
from
some of the
Styx.
states like Nevada and Georgia and North Carolina, I would say advantage Trump easily. Arizona's harder because you've got Maricopa County. So
Maricopa County is like 60% of the total votes in the state.
Yeah.
It's some huge number. So regardless of whatever else is in the pipeline,
it doesn't matter if Trump is ahead by 5 points in Arizona. He'll still lose the state if Maricopa does the ballot printers going burr.
Yeah. Then you have there's a new Wisconsin poll that came out that ended on the 18th.
That one's dead even.
Yeah, but the Hill Emerson's got Trump by 3. But if you look at the momentum, it went from Biden plus 6 on this Quinnipiac one, which was bizarre, back in early May, to then tied to Trump plus 1 to Trump plus 3. So it depends if you want to believe that that's enough to say there's momentum there. But like Styx says, I wouldn't trust. I think
it's 50. I think it's 50-50, and I think that Wisconsin goes for Biden.
Don't you destroy my hope, man. I'm out here on the ground. I'm trying to get people, but you're right. He probably wins. But if he wins, I mean, again, even Michigan, the polls must not care about Dearborn.
Michigan's closer.
Michigan's actually less. Wisconsin's Trump's up 0.3. Michigan's Trump's up 0.1 on the RCP average.
I think the Trump wins Georgia, North Carolina, Nevada. Those 3 are pretty much ironclad. That gets him pretty close, by the way. It's at 254 or thereabouts.
Now, what do you think about Pennsylvania?
And then he just needs one more state, if he gets Pennsylvania, he wins.
Every single poll in Pennsylvania since April 11th has had Trump up, but it's gotten smaller. He was up 3, then 4. Now he's kind of like 2. And like, I don't feel good about any poll. Though. He's still up. But for me, unless he's up at least 5, I don't really, the Burr margin of error is like 3 to 4 points. In my, if he's up 5, I feel pretty good about it.
Part of it will depend on his VP pick. If he picks a really good one, then he jets ahead in the polls, at least state by state. If he picks a retard, then he pretty much falls back.
Well, then he has to pick. Other than Tulsi, he has to pick JD
Gabbard.
Vance.
Yeah, Gabbard or Vance.
He's got to
pick one of those.
Two. Yeah, it has to be, because I don't think Vivek helps him in the polls.
Ramaswamy would be okay. It would be acceptable. Same with Rubio. Other than that, though, anyone outside of that, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think anyone else moves the polls like JD Vance would. Maybe, like you said, and like that's really how Trump's really got to pick. He's got to stack everything in his favor to have any chance. Vivek does probably mobilize younger Republican voters, and maybe some more independents who are like,
the crypto independents.
The crypto independents, the people like, just let me make my money. Like some libertarians, he could do that. So I guess he does move the needle a little bit. Rubio, again, I don't know. He's kind of like, for me, I've heard his name forever. I'd like to get some new blood in there. JD Vance.
I still think the best is Gabbard, but it doesn't seem like she's on the list, which is unfortunate. The next best is JD Vance. Ben Carson is also acceptable. Rubio is also acceptable. And then Ramaswamy is acceptable.
Yeah. I think he's got to make
if it's anyone else, there's going to be a fucking problem.
I think he will announce his pick next week.
Yeah.
He won't do it the week of the. I was talking about this for the RNC. He won't do it the week of the RNC because it'll upstage him.
Yeah.
So he's going to announce it before the RNC. And I think also what we have to see is the July 3rd. No, the sentencing. That
what day was that?
That's 2 days before the RNC, or 3 days before. So if the sentence is a fine, then everyone can just exhale and move forward. If they try to put him in jail, then of course it will be just a fine. You can't, it's been questionable enough, but to recommend jail time would be insane. People would riot.